West Coast special in the house right here at Crossroad Q's. Brand new 2023 Ariel Carmeli, made out of some of the craziest Mexican Cocobolo your eyes will ever catch. A lot of times I get these beautiful cues in and we wait quite a long time, just like everybody else is. We've got standing orders with some of these excellent cue makers like Ariel, and it's an honor. Trust me, it's a privilege to be able to buy cues from any and all of the cue makers that we get to work with here at Crossroad Cues. It's a privilege, and we don't take that for granted. This cue right here is made out of Mexican Cocobolo. It's really hard to capture the color on camera. I'm doing my best here. Best way I can describe it to you, you've heard me say this before about specific types of Cocobolo, because some of it has a brownish look to it. Some of it's got a kind of a lava look to it. This stuff has got so much figure. You know, and Ariel's known for picking some of the best wood available. He'll go through a pile of wood for days to find a wood that has the sound, the density, the look, the feel that he's looking for to put a cue together. And that is just stating the obvious. So this is Mexican Cocobolo. You know, I've got several of Ariel's cues. I like to keep them, play with them. We sell them. We're an official dealer here at Crossroad Cues. And I tell you what, I've had this cue. I sold some others. And I have been keeping this beautiful cue back because I just didn't want to sell it. But you can't keep them all. I've had more remorse about listing this thing than some of my big pointed cues. This cue is really, really, really nice. And it's got a great balance to it too. So there's your balance point right there. This cue, of course, is cored with Purple Heart. A lot of Ariel's older cues would be cored with maple. This is cored with Purple Heart. It's done because the Purple Heart just flat out plays fantastic. Him and I had a nice long conversation, several conversations about it. And many of the cue makers that we work with do choose to core. Ariel says that the Purple Heart plays really good. It's got the 3/8 modified pin. This cue right now is one of the nicest player quality cues that you're going to find. It has his white Tiffany diamonds at all positions. Those are 8 Tiffany diamonds in each ring. He does 6 sometimes, and then this one has 8. So you have 8 white Alforian white diamonds bordered in double silver. You have the wild Scotch wrap, very similar to Spanish Bull. I love this texture. Love it. I've had cues that I have that have lizard wrap on it, and I'm actually thinking about switching over to this wild Scotch. So again, wild Scotch, very similar to Spanish Bull. Great texture, great installation, of course. Then you have the AC logo on the bottom of the butt cap right there. It is prepped for a Carmeli extension. It is not included. He preps all of the new cues for the extension. You can get one from him for, I think, around $175 to $200 from the shop directly. 15 ounces on the butt. And then you've got one maple shaft at 3.7, one at 3.8, 13 millimeter on the shafts, LBM ferrules, and then the world famous Zan Hybrid Max tips. I love those Tiffany diamonds. I have a couple of cues in my personal collection that have those diamonds. This is an opportunity for you, gang. If you want to get a hold of a Carmeli cue without spending $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, because the prices of his cues continue to climb and they're worth every penny. This cue is $22.75 plus shipping. So $22.75 right now at Crossroad Cues. If it makes it to the website, you can see it at crossroadcues.com. If you're following us on YouTube, check out our Facebook page, Crossroad Cues Gallery. Get your hands on one of these West Coast cue makers' cues, and you will not be disappointed. Ariel says that he's not going to continue to make very many of the player quality cues He's got an apprentice right now, Steve Cerna. We've had the pleasure of selling some of his cues. He's making us some of these Merry Widows, but Ariel's just got too much going on with the big cues to make these player quality cues. And man, I tell you what, you will not miss a beat with this cue. I did attach one of my other shafts to it. I took some strikes with it. It's definitely a cue that any of you would be proud to own. And what I love about Ariel's cues like this, they play fantastic. If you want to have something that's made by a world-class cue maker that you can take to league night without bringing your $5,000 or $6,000 cue with you, here you go. Brand new Carmeli in the house. If you like a slightly lighter cue, this is perfect actually. 15 on the butt. You know, you've got a 18.7 or 18.8, depending on which shaft that you use. And if you want to use a low deflection like a keel wood or a carbon fiber, he stays at 850 at the joint. So there you go. Nice, solid, commanding hit, great balance, and some absolutely ridiculous Mexican Cocobolo. Right here at Crossroad Cues. Thanks for taking a look.